Silver and gold investors, this is nothing to smile about. The prospect of a sudden economic calamity, a sudden gross devaluation in the US dollar. What would that do for silver and gold? Do you think that maybe it might be hard to find silver and gold at your local coin shop, possibly even at the big online bullion dealers? We cannot rule out a sudden devaluation in the US dollar. And the reason why is because if we look at history, it gives us many examples of dominant currencies, paper money, that have collapsed. But in this video, we're going to talk about some examples, some reasons why we need to at least consider that it could happen. Look, I'm not telling you we're going to wake up tomorrow and the dollar is going to be worthless. I'm not telling you that it's going to happen next week or next month, but we can't rule out, in particular, if we broaden the time horizon that we look at, that we could be facing, at least in a very slow motion fashion, but even possibly a sudden devaluation in the dollar. Hey everybody, it's Ron from Ron's Basement, live on the log flume. Say hi, girls.
Hi.
Let's apply some common sense to this idea. We do know that right now in our world, what's going on a worldwide basis? The world is bifurcating. We have the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and a number of other countries that are joining them, and a number of other countries that want to join them. Again, nothing really to smile about for those of us that live in the West, in the United States, because the world is moving away from the dollar. Think about that for a second. Some people call it de-dollarization. Whatever you want to call it, the world is moving away from an environment where there's high demand for dollars. Again, no one predicts, right, on a trade basis or even a reserve basis that this is going to happen overnight. However, there are material movements in that direction. So at minimum, that will tell us there will be less demand for US dollars potentially in the future. And when there's less demand for anything, that makes the real value, not the nominal, made up, unicorn fart dust, whatever you want to say, a dollar, real value of the dollar will go down because of lower demand for dollars. But all of that is happening in what other environment? Come on, let's think about this. It's all happening in an environment where domestically in the United States of America, we are suffering from a debt crisis that nobody in terms of our leaders is talking about. Sure, you and I will talk about it. Sure, you and I know how to operate a calculator, but obviously our politicians in Washington, D.C. are challenged when it comes to the basic functions of a calculator. Let's run out to the U.S. debt clock, because that's what we like to do, and take a quick look at what is going on. As of the recording of this video, we're at almost $36 trillion in national debt. I think it's a safe bet to say that right now, as you're watching this, we are above and maybe even well beyond $36 trillion in debt. Guys, we are paying almost $1 trillion in interest. And when I say guys, I mean guys and gals. I just say guys like whatever, with no gender associated with it. Somebody was giving me trouble in some of the comments that I say guys, and the lady female stackers are just as welcome here as the men, and we've got a growing number of lady stackers. I digress. This is a big problem. All these major changes going on in the world. The interest expense is growing, right? The deficit is growing, which makes the debt grow, which makes the interest expense grow. That is a debt spiral. It grows and grows and grows until it truly is a big, major problem. So what we're talking about here, have you ever heard this term called a Minsky Moment? That's what we're facing. Let me give you a description of what a Minsky Moment is. You probably heard the term, but just so you know, a Minsky moment is a sudden major collapse of asset values, which marks the end of the growth phase of a cycle in credit markets or business activity. What we just looked at on the US debt clock is credit markets. Okay, 37 trillion dollars in debt is credit, is debt. It's all made up. Okay, the description, according to the hypothesis, the rapid instability occurs because long periods of steady prosperity, check, and investment gains, check, check, encourage a diminished perception of overall market risk, which promotes the leveraged risk of investing borrowed money instead of cash. Does that not explain the situation we're in here in the United States? I think they even talk about the origins of this here. The term was coined in 1998 to describe the 1998 Russian financial crisis. They got themselves into a very similar situation as we are in right now, and was named after an economist, Hyman Minsky, who noted that bankers, traders, and other financiers periodically played the role of arsonist, setting the entire economy ablaze. Minsky opposed the deregulation that characterized the 1980s. The bankers, the investors, the gamblers get out of control, but eventually everybody realizes that, hey, all that paper, all that make-believe, all that risk, all that debt, all that leverage is unsustainable. Let's go out and take a look at one of our favorite diagrams of all time, which came from the Federal Reserve. Yes, right? Exter's pyramid. John Exter worked for the Federal Reserve. He only died 20 years ago. Remember, gold and silver at the bottom are the only forms of real money. Everything else on top of that is what we just talked about. Synthetic, make-believe. You might want to call it unicorn fart dust, whatever. It's not real, right? The only forms of real money are gold and silver, and that's why they sit at the base of this inverted triangle. This is what we are facing. And are we getting warnings? Are we getting warnings about this potential for a Minsky moment? Let's just run through a few quick examples. Ray Dalio started Bridgewater Capital, I don't know, the world's biggest hedge fund. He's the smartest, most successful investor, maybe in the history of the world. He's warning about the unsustainability of the debt. Jeffrey Gundlach, what is it? Double line investing, another billionaire, the bond king. He's warning about it. Who else? Stanley Druckenmiller. Right? These are the smartest names. These are the smartest guys. Google them for yourself that you've never heard of, because all that anybody's ever heard of is Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. No, this next level of people, they're the smart ones. We even have Janet Yellen, the head of the Treasury, warning about the unsustainability of the debt. And we even have Gomer Pyle, Jerome Powell. We love him himself, who said, well, at some point, we're going to have to address the elephant. You see it back there? The elephant in the room, which is the U.S. debt. It really, truly could lead to a Minsky moment. Look, I don't have a crystal ball. Don't make any investment decisions based on anything I'm saying. I'm just a guy in his basement. I don't know anything, right? But if you do decide this, I can tell you it's one thing for sure. You could benefit from considering taking a look at Pimbex, channel sponsor, Pimbex. They're an online bullion dealer. So it's a place where you can go buy physical silver and gold. I've worked with them on a personal level for over a year. You guys have given me unbelievable positive feedback from your experiences with Pimbex. Find out for yourself. Do your own due diligence. I think you'll find they check all the boxes, right? Unbeatable prices, great customer service, a company you can trust, and a great selection. Also, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor Fortuna Mining. They're a gold and silver mining company with operations in Latin America, silver and gold, and West Africa, where they mine a lot of gold. And oh my gosh, my other sponsor, their sign fell down. Where is it? The gold bear. He must have eaten the sign from channel sponsor First Mining Gold. If you want gold in the ground in Canada, check out First Mining Gold. They're a development stage company. So they're in the process of working on getting permits, that type of thing. They have 2 multi-million ounce projects in Canada that they're developing. Springpole in Ontario, and Duparquet in Quebec. You can learn more about them, all the sponsor companies, at their respective websites, which are listed in the description of this video. I forgot the most important thing. You, yes, you, thank you for being here. Thanks for being part of this community, being part of Ron's Basement. I hope you have a great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.